guys today. Otherwise, if you're not a TVP fan, then I'm sorry, but it's just sort of what we're kind of ending up with, it seems. As to the upper right-hand side of the map, we're going to be starting with our player from ENCE Esports. It is going to be the red Protoss. It is Welmu. And down to the bottom left, our yellow town player from True Esports is going to be souL. Now, I would like to say and point out that souL has had a pretty good run so far. I mean, he dropped to U-Thermal, but he did take down Showtime in the initial round, so he's had a pretty good run against Protoss so far, and his TVP's always been a matchup which has impressed me. In Go for SC2s, I remember he's actually taken down Showtime again and some other players. You know, he's a very strong player that's very underrated in the European scene right now, so he's definitely one of these next players who, you know, you'll see him in WCS Challenger. We've seen him in WCS Challenger this year already, but he's going to be one of these players where soon he's going to qualify for an event and everyone's going to be like, wait, who? And then you're all going to remember that these guys been in WCS Challenger multiple times and stuff like that, you know, so it's, yeah, pretty nice to see him kind of continue to do well and making it further and further through these qualifying brackets and so on. And of course, Welmu, we all know Welmu. We've not really seen a lot of Welmu so far this year. He's been somewhat kind of, well, he's just not been around really when you talk about sort of, kind of, you know, he just hasn't been around at all, right? Like, when was the last time we've really sort of heard of Welmu? He hasn't really done anything. He wasn't part of WCS, if I'm not mistaken, and hasn't been to a DreamHack lately or anything. It's been a little bit weird. It's been a little bit different. So I'm intrigued to see how this is. Yeah, intrigued to see how he's playing. I mean, he's actually starting to play a little better lately. He's been taking a lot of good, you know, a lot of games off of very strong players and so on. So he's been doing very well recently. So it'll be interesting to see how he sort of continues, I suppose. Here today. I mean, he actually already took down, I think he took down Firecake today already. Not sure how he did in the previous rounds, actually, completely. Let me just double check that quick. So, Welmu actually fell to Nurture in the first round, well, no shame there, then beat Firecake and lose a bracket round 1 to go up against souL right now. So that's sort of what's been going on so far. So far, eliminated players have been Harstem, Firecake, Showtime actually being eliminated, and TLO. So a few of the big names already dropping out of this qualifier. In the first round of the losers bracket. As you see from souL, just a Reaper to Crying Scout, but does back away pretty quickly, doesn't want to get picked off by an Adept too early on, would rather kind of hang back, wait, and just see what he can get up to later on and get a bit more kind of effective scout. I mean, if he jumps up now and dies, he's not really going to see very much compared to if he jumps up a little bit later on, so we're all going to see this Adept try and chase the Reaper, but Reaper is going to be far enough away to be able to escape and get up to that high ground there, so Reaper survives. Adept is going to keep on chasing, but Reaper is not going to stop running. Adept actually not going to commit either, so just going to back away, back home, and stay back there. A few more probes on the way out. We're going to see Twilight and a Robo as the opening from Welmu. So, interesting here on Dusk Towers, because I'd say the Twilight and the Robo is not necessarily something which is immediately going to it's not something which is immediately you go to thing on Dusk Towers. It's probably going to be like a Resonating Glaives build then, I guess. Oh, it's going to be Blink. Ooh. Alright, so while we're going to play a Blink opening, which maybe suggests some kind of aggressive playstyle, may just suggest that he wants to go very quickly in towards kind of a big sort of kind of a Blink disruptor playstyle right from the get-go as well. A few different sort of possibilities here in the early stages, as we are just going to be seeing this Reaper just backing away. Pulling back now over to the right-hand side a little bit. A couple of gateways come up here from Welmu, and they're going to be finishing in. Be able to morph them into warp gates in the next couple of seconds. And, yeah, just going to come down for the third base. I'm not looking to be super aggressive with this Blink. Just looking to look to kind of pressure on the map with Blink very early on. I'm sorry, why am I talking about PvZ? It's PvT. What on earth am I on about? I'm just completely talking nonsense. Alright, Twilight Robo, very standard way to play. Sorry. I don't know what happened there in my mind. I think it's because I just checked like the cross-finals results and stuff, and I saw the PvZ still going on. No, Twilight Robo, very standard. So Blink, I mean, very standard play from Welmu, not really surprised at all. So sorry, I'm talking nonsense again. What's new? As this Rogue, Reaper tries to come in, trying to get some information, but doesn't quite find anything. souL on the other side of the map is going to add in on a Stimpak, and he's walling off just in case of any kind of a depth pressure here in the early stages of the game as well. So just going to be walling off and hoping to try and hoping to just sort of try and defend over here. So just walling off And just helps him to defend against those adepts potentially, as we see a Liberator on the way out, and then probably a couple of medevacs behind this as well as that reactor finishes. So we'll see this Liberator coming on up towards the upper right hand side. There's already actually a Widowmine drop coming down here. I actually got 6 kills on one of these Widowmines, so actually a little bit of damage already being done here by souL. And we're just going to be seeing this Liberator starting to come into position as well as this Warp Prism goes over to the far left. So Warp Prism coming over to the far left will, again, look to see what it can get up to in the near future as the starport starting to make medevacs. Actually makes 1 medevac and 1 Liberator, which is interesting, as this Liberator not going to have very much luck at the back here because he's, yeah, I mean, he's not really having much luck at the back because there's 2 Paladins already in position, so Phone Overcharge is going to get rid of that Liberator very easily, very quickly. And if he gets the opportunities, this medevac actually going to be found by the Stalkers, so a little bit of a mistake there as now this Bio Army is a little bit unprotected, a little bit unaided. And as you can see the Liberator coming in, and well, he actually unsieged it. Could have maybe got it away if he tried to. Big step forwards, we're going to see the Stalkers taking some damage. Mothership Core come towards the natural, I imagine, or the third base, sorry, to try and protect here. Not really needed though. The lack of a medevac really hurts this Bio Army. And the Stalkers actually able to give chase as well, picking off a few of these units as they try to retreat back home. souL bailing up at 3rd CC behind all of this, going into 4th and 5th racks now as well. Just setting up into, you know, obviously again the next stage of his game, the next sort of standard phase of this. So next phase of the game on the way up as these Stalkers continue to come across, trying to hunt down another Marine or so in the near future. A few more Stalkers being walked in, and actually a lot of pressure available here by Welmu, who's actually going to start working his way through this 3rd CC. And well, souL, to protect this, he's going to have to come down the ramp with the Bio 4s. He's going to have to try and fight against this, but these Stalkers are trading pretty well. He will save the 3rd base. He will push this away. I thought souL might be able to, might be in a bit more trouble than he was there. I thought he might actually have a bit of trouble fighting against these Stalkers. So right now he's actually having a pretty good time. Oh, we're going to see the blink forwards here. So Welmu's actually going to keep on committing with another few Stalkers coming in. Does he have enough to take this down? I mean, more Marauders coming in from the back, and I mean, it's very close, but in the end there is just about enough for our Terran player to push this back. So Welmu in the end kind of loses out on quite a bit. 3 more Stalkers warping in. He doesn't have that many warp gates just yet, so 3 extra Stalkers isn't that much in terms of reinforcements. We're going to see them blinking away once again, and we're going to see another aggressive blink forwards, deliberate denying the mind of the natural expansion of Welmu right now too. So SCV's going to be pulled forwards, and there's a few more Marauders to really help push this back once again. So souL will hold on, and Welmu is currently sat not mining from his natural, and he actually can't, because unless he gets Stalkers in here, now Liberator is just going to be continue to be out of range. He's going to go towards the 3rd base now, which is also unprotected by a pylon in the back of the mineral line. Now you read it for Welmu not to have units in that sort of position. So we're going to see Stalkers going down once again. The Immortal going to start joining this fight. We might have to see SCVs being pulled in once more again. I like the fact he popped the shields on the Immortal and then kind of pulls away, waits for them shields to dissipate. As Liberator picks up a few more kills as the probe's now going to transfer to the 4th base in long distance mine. So not a lot of income right now for Welmu as souL continues to push away at the front. Welmu is still just being so aggressive here. I mean, I'm not sure if he really wants to kind of stick around. I'm not sure if this is really kind of worth sticking around the way he's doing it. We're going to see Adepts not shaded into the natural base, so I'm going to stick at the 3rd. I mean, he's still killing workers, but souL has so much army in comparison. Counterattack is definitely on the cards right now for our Terran player, and could be quite successful. A lot of these Adepts going down as well. He's fallen back to a few more Adepts which have just warped in. This Liberator still in position. I mean, okay, this 4th base is set up now, but all this time, Welmu has been long distance mining, so his economy has not been where it should have been. And he gets his natural expansion running once again, which is something. Warp Prism going to finally stop warping in at the front and is going to drop in towards the main base instead now. Drop in towards the main base to see what he can do as souL. Well, he actually has a big drop loaded up, but in the end, I mean, it's a big drop in the sense there's a lot of medevacs, but there's only actually 2 full medevacs and then a bit of a kind of full medevac, so it's not going to be that huge a drop as we're going to see the Adepts coming in once again. Warpins on the other side of the map though, so souL is once again going to be taking damage on his economy, but is once again going to have maybe the army to do damage with on the other side as this Mothership Core full of energy, but if there's enough bio killing stuff, you know, killing off them pylons fast enough, might be okay as these Adepts get stopped from moving in towards the natural, so that wall off does become very useful here as we're going to see Gateway and a Cyber Core going down very quickly, and Immortal going to pop out of the Robo. And there's so many Marauders here that, again, pylons and so on, going to go down very quickly as we're going to see another 4 overcharge popped. There goes that Immortal very swiftly, and Void Ray coming in to try and help out as well. They're in a weird position where souL's kind of stuck between a couple of different pylons. We're going to see the Mothership Core is going to fall down. There's not many Marines, but the Marines out here are doing the damage they need. I mean, souL's still sort of holding on back at home as well. He's cleaned up that Warp Prism play now, so he's not got really anything to worry about. There's one Void Ray is the only thing that can actually really fight against these units of souL anymore, because he doesn't have any Marines in this army, so more work is going to go down, and it's actually Welmu who's now really just taking some damage, which could very well be game-ending here in the long run. A couple of medevacs could lift up and leave and evacuate, just boost away. He's going to stick around, he's going to lift up now, and he begins to boost away, so we'll get away with the majority of this. And, yeah, we're just going to see that Forge sort of spinning away right now, these probes. Going to come back away from the natural as another same Liberator comes back in, and actually up on 30 kills. Wow, so the Liberator has been doing damage around the bases here, and just been continuing to help souL out, and souL looking as though he might take game number 1 of this best of 3 series in the very near future. These medevacs are going to turn around and come back in position as the Liberator's up now as well to help with kind of the major pushes. And honestly, Welmu just doesn't have an army. 2 Stalkers and a Void Rays is anti-air. I mean, that's not really enough to get rid of the Liberators. And so this is going to be a good push in towards the 4th base here. Liberator actually going towards the 3rd base there instead. As you'll see that pylon taken down, so nothing can warp in to help this out. This 4th base will go down. Welmu now going to be behind in workers. Something he's actually been doing pretty good at, kind of staying ahead in workers. It's probably the one thing Welmu has had going for him throughout this game. But we're just going to be seeing this bio continue clean up. A couple of gates go down. These assimilers are falling as well. This pylon in the back is also going to go down here now. So another pylon going down. The assimilator goes down. And we're just going to be seeing souL just sort of moving forwards with this army. Going to see a scan coming in from him. He's going to see that little bit of a gateway army. He just scans the edge of it. As these Widow Mines are just going to start burrowing. We're going to see souL set up his Liberator zone once again. His 4th base is going to go down. We are going to see this few more Stalkers just warping in and getting ready to come over here as Adepts starting to shade forwards. Nice Widow Mine shot to begin with. Adepts are not really in the best of positions as the Widow Mines are doing so much damage. Medevac's coming in as well. souL destroys this army, and he's going to take game number 1 of this best of 3. Welmu types out the GG. True Esports souL. Right away. So, to the bottom right hand side, our yellow Terran player from True Esports is going to be souL. And to the lower left hand side of the map from NC Sports is going to be our red Protoss player, Welmu. Alright, so as we set up into this, we'll be looking to see how things are going to go. How things are going to start going here in game number 2. As I see a gateway coming down in the main base to get things started here for Welmu. So gate on the way down, going to see an assimilator on the way down the main base as well. I'm just going to see that Nexus being kind of boosting out those probes here. So again, I mean, Welmu kind of just falling apart a bit in game 1, was really kind of being the aggressive player, and I think just really sort of overcommitted to that sort of idea of being aggressive at the front. He used a lot of war pins on the front as well, and it just didn't end very well for him, you know. He just didn't end up with enough to realistically, he just didn't end up with enough at all, so it was kind of brutal for him in the end, as he just kind of, you know, got counterattacked, and souL just had the army, where Welmu didn't, because he lost so much on the other side of the map, and that Liberator was kind of denying Welmu from mining effectively throughout the game as well, and just a few things which would have been very easy to clean up for the most part, and which Welmu ignored, which really just sort of set him behind in the game. As we're just going to be seeing this Nexus on the way down on the natural. We're going to be seeing Welmu just setting up into this. I'm just going to be seeing the CC starting up for souL as well. Reactor on the way on the barracks. And the SCV just going to pop down a depot as well. So depot comes down. And really nothing too surprising just yet, as we see that CC going to finish in the main base orbital. Going to drop down the mule. So mule dropping down here, going to start mining away. And for now, not really too much ongoing, I guess. Factory starts up as well. So factory started on up, and again, just sort of waiting to see what else is going to be happening in the next few moments. So reactor expand. No Reaper obviously means his scouting is going to be a little bit slower than usual, or not as effective as usual. I mean, he does initially see if the SCV the scout, but his kind of scout after this is maybe going to more so rely on kind of a Widow Mine drop or something to kind of get in the base and see what's happening, more so than say, you know, more so than the Reaper. Could be a couple of Hellions as well, potentially. You know, just to try and scout also. That's also a possibility here. So, let's see how it's going to go. Factory going to finish up, and it's going to see a lift. So it's going to be a couple of Hellions most likely. Starport starts up as well, unless we're going to see Widow Mines. Also possibly, but no, going to be some Hellions. So, Hellions on the way out, and that's going to be a scouting mechanism here in the early stages of this game. Deepers will raise, and Welmu will get his own scouting information, which is he sees the factory on the reactor. So, yeah, Marine's just going to come in and chase down this Adept, which is backing away off over to the left-hand side. So, Adept just backing away over to the left. We're just going to be seeing souL just coming across here with these couple of Hellions. So, a couple of Hellions moving over and looking to see what's going on. A couple of Widow Mines just going to be on the way up from souL as well. As these Marines also coming across the map to try and build a little bit of pressure. And well, I mean, there's not really a lot here for our Cross player. Although he does drop the for an overcharge, he does stop one of the Hellions getting into the main. The other one gets in, sees everything, sees the Robo, sees the Twilight, and Welmu, well, he is just going into the same sort of playstyle as what he went into last time around with the Twilight Council, Research and Blink, so no real surprises from him here just yet. Warp Gate is about to finish up for Welmu as well, so Warp Gate about to finish up, and we'll see them Stalkers coming in. We'll see how aggressive Welmu gets this time, or if he's going to play a little bit more passively. A couple of Widow Mines going to load up as a follow-up to this now in the Medevac, and a Liberator on the way out as well from souL. So, why don't I select on the Medevac? Come on, there we go. So yeah, Medevac just going to come over here and have a look to see where he might be dropping those Widow Mines in the next couple of moments. Looks as though the third base for the natural expansion is going to be his location. Is actually kind of targeting two things very close to each other. Could have got both Adept kills there, which would have been nice. Doesn't though, and actually the Medevac being left AFK, so the Stalker's going to start picking away at that. Does get it away though with that boost, so kind of gets away with a little bit of a mistake there. So you do see another Medevac now begin to move. Oh, sorry, the Liberator moving across the map to kind of continue applying pressure basically. So Liberator going to come across over to the left bottom left hand side, going to siege up here, and well, we'll see what this Liberator can achieve in the next couple of moments as well as it comes right across. And for an overcharge going to pop, that Liberator takes a shot of damage. A couple more Stalkers warping on in, and we're going to see these units continue to come across the map from Welmu as well. So a few more Stalkers continue to come across this Adept as well, and everything just going to be trying to be a little bit careful here. Sometime soon we're going to see these Marines just fighting against that Stalker. So Seashank's up here for souL, and that's very indicative of the fact that he might want to try and attack through this bottom side of the map in the near future. That, or he just wants the tanks to help him stay very safe against this while he goes into a very quick third command center. I mean, two very different possibilities, but both very, I mean, it's obviously the tank's going to protect the third CC, but it also sets him up nicely to then push through the bottom side of the map as well later on. So, going to be seeing how this is going to go. As we're going to see this Liberator just going to jump around towards the third base here now, so we're going to see the Stalkers try and blink forwards into this. Once Stalker goes down quickly, it's not enough Stalkers. Going to stay in range, one of them as well, so... Oh man, he actually doesn't get away with it, so... Well, we're a little bit fortunate there, I think, more so than anything. And another couple of pylons just on the way down. Just a couple more pylons on the way down, a couple of forgers upgrading here. Very standard playstyle again from Welmu, what we've seen all day long, just sort of Stalker, Adept, Resonating, Glaver's Blink. Very standard setup in the early stages of the game, and transitioning a little bit later on into Immortals and so on. So yeah, just gonna be seeing these few tanks just sat with these Marines, and we'll prism to the south side while we're looking to apply some pressure here potentially in the next few minutes, as this Adept is just going to chase down that Marine and actually just back away. So just going to back away here, this Marine, and again just going to be the observer sat overhead. I'm just waiting to see what's going to be happening next. Again, these two refineries are going to be finishing up in the next couple of moments from souL. There's a couple of refineries just going to be finishing up as we do see Medevac just healing up these Marines. Observer gets taken down thanks to that turret. So souL just playing a very defensive game right now. Going into Ghost Academy very early on as well. So looking to get some Ghosts up to help him fight against what is... Well, I mean, Adepts and Immortals, you hit some EMPs onto those units, and all of a sudden they are not as useful as you'd probably like them to be. So it's going pretty well for him so far. You see that Dark Shrine dropping down now in the main base of Welmu as well. So Dark Shrine dropping down, we're going to see a gateway, another gateway from Welmu as well. I mean, Welmu's playstyle is just very standard, and he's making a whole bunch of gateways as well, so you can really kind of just max out on this kind of gateway heavy sort of composition with a few Immortals behind it, and really kind of look to kind of engage and continue to engage throughout the game. But well, souL, he's just sort of here with a bunch of Marines, a few tanks, and that Medevac as well. And I mean, he's in a very good defensive position, and his army is very good to fight as well. If he gets these tanks in location, he's got a lot of tanks as well. He's really committed to these siege tanks as a way to Again, I really feel pushing through the south side, or you could even push up this direction here and siege the tanks there. I mean, there's so many, possibilities when it comes to setting up siege tanks on Ruins of Endian. So, see how this goes. Marines come over, they take down a hallucinated Phoenix. We're going to see these couple of medevacs just loading up tanks once again. And another tank loading up once too. So I think with these ghost Marines and tanks, it's almost kind of like what a lot like what Euphemel used to do back at the start of Legacy of the Void, where he went kind of mass Marine tank. And then he never added in Ghosts, I don't think, but this is a nice little addition from souL too, as he comes across this map, and well, let's see how well prepared Welmu's going to be for this. Right now, his army is looking fairly lackluster because his Stalkers are out of position, and tanks dropping down, already getting a lot of damage done. Marines stimming in, that pylon falls, and this third base is going to be, well, under some heavy fire here. Third base starting to go down. Welmu going to have to find a way to fight against this. These Ghosts still have them EMPs. These tanks are going to be kind of one of the real issues as well, obviously, and these Adepts looking to get on top of this here as EMPs, huge EMPs on this army. These Adepts are just going to completely disappear as they shade onto this, but I mean, the EMPs are initially just doing so much. The Immortals disappear to the Marines, the tanks do so much damage. souL is going to crush Welmu here, 2-0 in this best of 3. I mean, just complete crush here in this game, like, complete counter sort of what Welmu is building. Very well executed attack. GG souL, the underdog, honestly. The lesser known player is going to come out of this with a 2-0 over